that I had seen before, as if, after the spasm, some spot between the shoulders burnt or itched. Then again she looked the most unhappy woman in the world, and I once more reproached her, though not with the same conviction, for if there were a reason, and if I knew the reason, the stigma was removed from life. Sisters-in-law, I said. Her lips pursed as if to spit venom at the word. Pursed they remained. All she did was to take her glove and rub hard at a spot on the window pane. She rubbed as if she would rub something out forever, some stain, some indelible contamination. Indeed, the spot remained for all her rubbing, and back she sank with the shudder and the clutch of the arm I had come to expect. Something impelled me to take my glove and rub my window. There, too, was a little speck on the glass. For all my rubbing it remained. And then the spasm went through me. I crooked my arm and plucked at the middle of my back. My skin, too, felt like the damp chicken skin in the poulterer's shop window. One spot between the shoulders itched and irritated, felt clammy, felt raw. Could I reach it? Surreptitiously I tried. She saw me. A smile of infinite irony, infinite sorrow, flitted and faded from her face. But she had communicated, shared her secret, passed her poison. She would speak no more. Leaning back in my corner, shielding my eyes from her eyes, seeing only the slopes and hollows, grays and purples, of the winter's landscape, I read her message, deciphered her secret, reading it beneath her gaze. Hilda's the sister-in-law. Hilda? Hilda? Hilda Marsh. Hilda the blooming, the full-bosomed, the matronly. Hilda stands at the door as the cab draws up, holding a coin. Poor Minnie, more of a grasshopper than ever. Old cloak she had last year. Well, well, with 2 children these days one can't do more. No, Minnie, I've got it. Here you are, cabby. None of your ways with me. Come in, Minnie. Oh, I could carry you, let alone your basket. So they go into the dining room. Aunt Minnie, children. Slowly the knives and forks sink from the upright. Down they get. Bob and Barbara hold out hands stiffly, back again to their chairs, staring between the resumed mouthfuls. But this we'll skip. Ornaments, curtains, trefoil china plate, yellow oblongs of cheese, white squares of biscuit. Skippo, but wait. Halfway. Come join our meditation and wellness retreat. So the question is in the opening there. When spring comes, primroses. A parting, was it, 20 years ago? Ah, but the detail matters nothing. It's what she carries with her, the spot, the crime, the thing to expiate, always there between her shoulders. Yes, she seems to nod to me. It's the thing I did. Whether you did, or what you did, I don't mind. It's not the thing I want. The draper's window looped with violet. That'll do. A little cheap perhaps, a little commonplace since one has a choice of crimes, but then so many. Let me peep across again. Still sleeping, or pretending sleep. White, worn, the mouth closed. A touch of obstinacy, more than one would think. No hint of sex. So many crimes aren't your crime. Your crime was cheap, only the retribution solemn, for now the church door opens, the hard wooden pew receives her. On the brown tiles she kneels. Every day, winter, summer, dusk, dawn. Here she's at it, prays. All her sins fall, fall, forever fall. The spot receives them. It's raised, it's red, it's burning. Next she twitches. Small boys point. Bob at lunch today, but elderly women are the worst. Indeed, now you can't sit praying any longer. Kruger's sunk beneath the clouds, washed over as with a painter's brush of liquid gray, to which he adds a tinge of black. Even the tip of the truncheon gone now. That's what always happens. Just as you've seen him, felt him, someone interrupts. It's Hilda now. How the children stare. Well, then home a back way, home a back way. The words have meaning, might have been spoken by the old man with whiskers. No, no, he didn't really speak. But everything has meaning. Placards leaning against doorways, names above shop windows, red fruit in baskets, women's heads and the hairdressers all say Minnie Marsh. But here's a jerk. Eggs are cheaper. That's what always happens. I was heading her over the waterfall, straight for Eller. Rhododendrons would conceal him utterly, and into the bargain give me my fling of red and white, for which I starve and strive. But rhododendrons in Eastbourne in December on the Marsh's table, no, no, I dare not. It's all a matter of crusts and cruets, frills and ferns. Perhaps there'll be a moment later by the sea. Moreover, I feel, pleasantly pricking through the green fretwork and over the glacis of cut glass, a desire to peer and peep at the man opposite one's as much as I can manage. James Moggridge is it, whom the Marshes call Jimmy? Minnie, you must promise not to twitch till I've got this straight. James Moggridge travels in, shall we say, buttons? But the time's not come for bringing them in the big and the little on the long cards, some peacock-eyed, others dull gold, cairngorms some, and others coral sprays, but I say the time's not come. He travels, and on Thursdays, his Eastbourne day, takes his meals with the Marshes. His red face, his little steady eyes by no means altogether commonplace, his enormous appetite, that's safe, he won't look at Minnie till the bread's swamped, the gravy dry, napkin tucked diamond-wise, but this is primitive, and, whatever it may do the reader, don't take me in. Let's dodge to the Moggridge household, set that in motion. Well, the family boots are mended on Sundays by James himself. He reads truth, but his passion? Roses and his wife a retired hospital nurse. Interesting, for God's sake let me have one woman with a name I like. But no, she's of the unborn children of the mind, illicit, none the less loved, like my rhododendrons. How many die in every novel that's written, the best, the dearest, while Moggridge lives? It's life's fault. Here's Minnie eating her egg at the moment opposite, and at t'other end of the line are we past Lewis? There must be Jimmy, or what's her twitch for? There must be Moggridge. Life's fault. Life imposes her laws. Life blocks the way. Life's behind the fern. Life's the tyrant. Oh, but not the bully. No, for I assure you I come willingly. I come wooed by heaven knows what compulsion across ferns and cruets, tables splashed and bottles smeared. I come irresistibly to lodge myself somewhere on the firm flesh, in the robust spine, wherever I can penetrate or find foothold on the person, in the soul, of Moggridge the man. The enormous stability of the fabric, the spine tough as whalebone, straight as oak tree, the ribs radiating branches, the flesh taut tarpaulin, the red hollows, the suck and regurgitation of the heart, while from above meat falls in brown cubes and beer gushes to be churned to blood again, and so we reach the eyes. Behind the aspidistra they see something, black, white, dismal. Now the plate again. Behind the aspidistra they see elderly woman, Marsh's sister, Hilda's more my sort, the tablecloth now. Marsh would know what's wrong with Morris's. Talk that over, cheese has come. The plate again, turn it round the enormous fingers, now the woman opposite. Marsh's sister not a bit like Marsh, wretched, elderly female. You should feed your hens. God's truth, what set her twitching? Not what I said. Dear, dear, dear. These elderly women. Dear, dear. Yes, Minnie, I know you've twitched, but one moment, James Moggridge. Dear, dear, dear. How beautiful the sound is. Like the knock of a mallet on seasoned timber, like the throb of the heart of an ancient whaler when the seas press thick and the green is clouded. Dear, dear, what a passing bell for the souls of the fretful to soothe them and solace them, lap them in linen, saying, so long. Good luck to you, and then, what's your pleasure? For though Moggridge would pluck his rose for her, that's done, that's over. Now what's the next thing? Madam, you'll miss your train, for they don't linger. That's the man's way. That's the sound that reverberates. That's St. Paul's and the motor omnibuses. But we're brushing the crumbs off. Oh, Moggridge, you won't stay? You must be off? Are you driving through Eastbourne this afternoon in one of those little carriages? Are you man who's walled up in green cardboard boxes, and sometimes has the blinds down, and sometimes sits so solemn staring like a sphinx, and always there's a look of the sepulchral, something of the undertaker, the coffin, and the dusk about horse and driver? Do tell me, but the door's slammed. We shall never meet again. Moggridge, farewell. Yes, yes, I'm coming. Right up to the top of the house. One moment I'll linger. How the mud goes round in the mind, what a swirl these monsters leave, the waters rocking, the weeds waving in green here, black there, striking to the sand, till by degrees the atoms reassemble, the deposit sifts itself, and again through the eyes one sees clear and still, and there comes to the lips some prayer for the departed, some obsequy for the souls of those one nods to, the people one never meets again. James Moggridge is dead now, gone forever. Well, Minnie, I can face it no longer. If she said that, let me look at her. She is brushing the eggshell into deep declivities. She said it certainly, leaning against the wall of the bedroom, and plucking at the little balls which edge the claret-colored curtain. But when the self speaks to the self, who is speaking? The entombed soul, the spirit driven into the central catacomb, the self that took the veil and left the world a coward perhaps, yet somehow beautiful, as it flits with its lantern restlessly up and down the dark corridors. I can bear it no longer, her spirit says. That man at lunch, Hilda the children. Oh, heavens, her sob. It's the spirit wailing its destiny, the spirit driven hither, thither, lodging on the diminishing carpet's meager footholds, shrunk in shreds of all the vanishing universe, love, life, faith, husband, children, I know not what splendors and pageantries glimpsed in girlhood. Not for me, not for me. But then the muffins, the bald elderly dog? Bede Mats, I should fancy, and Marsh's sister, not a bit like Marsh,